Also watching Business Nigeria, coming to you live from our studios here in Lagos, Nigeria, commercial capital. Let's head to Abuja studio now. We have a guest joining us, Professor Ideti Kerendu. He's a power expert and, of course, a retired permanent secretary in the Ministry of Power. Thank you for joining us, Prof. We appreciate you for coming on board. I mean, I didn't expect that we're going to join us again, but it's good that you are here. Speak to us on this issue quickly. The President Tinubu, recently signed, 5%, signed a bill, and it's a new amendment. I mean, it's, of course, an amendment bill signed into law now that 5% of revenue or operating expenditure of GENCOs will be used to fund the development of communities, especially the host communities. Speak to us. What's your understanding of this?
Yeah, I think, like I said to your colleague Frank the other day, this amendment bill is a carbon copy of the bill on PIA, in which 3% of the oil companies would be reserved for producers and communities that are affected and impacted by the oil company operations. While it is 3% there, I think this bill in the power sector is concerned with 5%. And the reason for that probably can be explained if we read into the minds of the proponents of that law.
Well, there are those who are saying that, because I spoke to a stakeholder in the power sector here on the show yesterday, and his position is that perhaps the federal government needs to review it, that because GENCOs also have a lot of expenditures, a lot of things to take care of in terms of investment and all of that. Do you think this will impact on pricing, on operation of the GENCOs?
Yeah, that is why I said I needed to read into the mind of the proponent of the bill that has been signed into law by Mr. President, because 5%, I am just hearing that a few days ago, because there was a debate concerning the PIA, whether it should be 5% or 3%. And I think they settled for a lower percentage, being the oil sector, which we believe oil companies have been making profit. But for GENCOs, I am indeed trying to do a research into the electricity market to see how the Power Sector Reform Act of 2006 has fared on the people in that market, the GENCOs in particular, because we learned from the Minister of Power that they are being owed for electricity that produced for which it has not been off-takers. And therefore, I don't know how solvent the GENCOs are since this monopoly of NEPA was broken some years back. Whether they are making money, who is making more money? Is it the GENCO or the other people, DISCOs? We need to know. So until that is known, the profitability of the GENCOs in the current electricity market, then we can say 5% is good, or it should be higher or lower.
Perhaps we may not be able to finish this conversation in the day, but generally, just before I let you go, because of our time, speak to, if you were to recommend a particular solution to the challenge of the power sector today, because you had experience in that sector for, where you worked for many years before you retired. Speak to us, what would that issue be? What policy would you recommend in terms of, that will strengthen the sector? Because there are quite a lot of challenges. The issue of, yesterday the federal government was just talking about how subsidy is no longer sustainable and all that. Please speak to us quickly before I let you go because of our time.
Thank you. Like I said, the Power Sector Reform Act of 2006 was to break the monopoly of NEPA because there was insolvency in the way power was distributed, and which was notable for power outage And of course, for the distributors, they never had electricity for years and for months. But we have seen a little improvement at the level of the discos. But then I suspect they don't have enough money to invest in that sector because they're still asking communities to buy transformers before they could have electricity reaching their homes. So for the GenCos, I also learned from the Minister of Power that they're being owed, that the power they produce, the off-takers are not able to transmit to the GenCos. But in the power sector bill, the federal government decided to be the off-taker. So that means if they're owing GenCos, how then do you want them, 5% of the annual expenditure to go to the community? So that is where I'm saying a little more of research into the market, electricity market as of today, to see whether the players are doing some good business that brings them profitability. And that index of profitability we can only read by the power distribution, how power distribution to the households are steady in the days or in the weeks or in the months. So we have not reached there yet. We have not reached there yet at all.
All right.
The market is still a little bit fluid, and we have suggestions to make in the future to make the market workable. And that suggestion would be a greater investment in the transmission, the production, and the distribution of electricity in Nigeria.
Well, Prof, my apologies, we're far behind time. I'm going to let you go, but we'll find time to bring you again. Thank you so much for your time, Professor Edet Ekerendu.
Edet Ekerendu, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
It's a sector, yeah, we are still studying the performance of the electricity market in Nigeria. Right. When next I come, I think we will throw more light into how that market works.
All right, Prof.